Back here at Carrickmines station, I've talked practically everything about this station and the line, the reason it opened, the reason it closed, the controversy behind it closed. The much maligned Todd Anders had no vision for its future. Plans were in place, south of Dublin, to develop the land commercially and residentially back in the late 50s into the 60s. The line was taken up fairly quickly, very quickly. The bridges were removed from Harcourt Road, Adelaide Road down to Dundrum, and the line was built on at Shangana Junction within years. So, but I'll acknowledge Dublin's Corporation prevented the line from being built on after 1972. So when they built the line, built the Lewis line, as we see one here now in Carrickmines station, as they built the Lewis line in the 2000s, and they just had to acquiesce some land in Dundrum, but the drop bed was sort of free to build on. It's just the moving nature, replacing bridges, and what we have is a very busy Lewis line. It's just a shame things, mitigating factors happened in the 2000s with the economic crash, and now with COVID conditions, that the line didn't reach the Bray. But I'm a believer the line should have been just replaced as a heavy duty line as it was before. But as we have here at Carrickmines station is the old alignment. So the line where I live down at Tullyvale abruptly ends. Whether it'll go over the viaduct, the magnificent limestone viaduct at Bryce Glen, is another thing, not for the foreseeable future. But as been said before, the infrastructure was intact, so they were able to sort of extend it down here. What else? My belief is that we now have to look at the possibilities of connecting the Lewis to the airport. One of the few European cities without a rail connection to the airport, light or heavy or otherwise. But hopefully that will happen in the mean course. But that's for the future, I guess. Another thing about this railway line is that it was double tracked, which was unusual for the time. Initially it was single tracked in the 1850s, and then it was double tracked. But really the stations that were only particularly busy was Dargan's home station. He lived in Mount Anvil in Dundrum, so that was a busy station, and Shankill station. But this station here wouldn't have been busy at all. It would have, you would have had as Todd Anders ridiculed, doctors and lawyers and presidents going into town to their respective professions. So Fox Rock would have been busy on race days. I mean, that was initially opened as a quiet enough station, a few houses along Brighton, Torquay Road, Westminster Road. But once Leopardstown Racecourse opened, it became very busy, extremely busy. So on race days, hundreds would turn up. Special trains were in place. Another thing that seems to be forgotten, in the 50s, the line was kind of marginalised, which was similar to, I lived in Bristol for a while, and there was a line from Bath down to the south coast, Somerset and Dorset Railway. But that was they were seaside specials. There was a lot of seasonal traffic from Manchester down to Bournemouth, Bath to Bournemouth, and they marginalised that line as well, which led to the closure. So it does ask the question whether they and making allowances for how economic, and the line wasn't being used and it was being subsidised, blah blah blah. But whether an afterthought would have been whether something else could have been put in place, whether specials down to Wicklow or Waterford, or Wicklow might have sustained the line, or better connections in Dublin. Because the one elephant in the room about the Harcourt Street line, it was stuck remotely from the city centre. But you could say that about Euston Station as well. But Euston Station's tentacles reached out to most of southern Ireland, where Harcourt Street, after the line went to Greystones, but I think there was very little traffic. I must do some research on that. Very little traffic after. I think in the early 50s the line stopped going to Waterford, and there was the couple of Wexford trains a day going down there. But yeah, what could have been.